Hi, Kevin Blank. Back to the nuclear freaking meltdown nightmare in freaking Japan. And I want to get into the whole subject matter about mother's milk, cow's milk, mammals. And no, I'm not doing my Mark Twain impression. I wish. I had my first grandson born last night, so if you don't think I got a vested interest, and boy, does life round a circle. My father died from nuclear radiation, atomic veteran, in the trenches, killed from leukemia. Now the first grandson named after him coming along. Got another one coming in just a few days. Two boys, I call them the pair of 11s. Boy, is life circle. Here we are dealing with nuclear radiation again. And mother's milk and mammals. And look, this whole freaking country has lost its way. It's lost its freaking moral conscience. Total loss its car. Every single person in the United States needs to get out a copy of Moby Dick and read Melville and read the passages with the babies suckling on their mother. Oh yeah, in the Pacific Ocean. Get out and read Rachael Carson's iconic, incredible book that changed the world as Dow Chemical and the rest of these chemicals were wiping us out and killing us, spraying stuff all over. She died. Silent Springs. Every school teacher out there, every professor right now, you should require both those to be read. And the great mighty Pacific, the greatest ecosystem in the world, the greatest ecosystem on this great, incredible Mother Earth, the Pacific Ocean, as we drain plutonium into the great mighty Pacific. Look, that's one of the biggest dairy farms in the western United States right there. I grew up right here. I grew up on a dairy farm right here. Don't even get me going on that. And if you think, and we're hearing these reports now, okay, Mr. Science, tell us how that cow thing works. Oh, here's how it works, children. You freaking dummied down American popular opinion population out there. You're so folks down. Here's how it works. The cow goes out in that beautiful pasture and eats that grass, and then it comes out in its milk. Oh, thank you, Mr. Science. You think cows are out grazing in the fucking open range and eating grass? You're fucking crazy. That's where milk comes from. Those cows never seen nothing but this deep of fucking cow shit standing in with all their fucking chemicals. And there's no studies that have ever been done mixing a little bit of radiation and minute traces with all these fucking chemicals they're feeding these fucking cows. They're injecting them with them. They're fucking feeding them. And that's how they stand in shit their whole life. They never fucking move. They're not out there. And let's talk about when a cow does eat its food, those stacks of hay, whatever, as the radiation falls on those. And when the cow eats it, it synergizes. When the mammal eats it, it synergizes. It doesn't come out of the mama like it does when it goes in, just like the mama who's going to be nursing that little grandson of mine. Just like those babies that are suckling on the well mama. We're mammals. It synergizes. It changes. It becomes very powerful. So, I mean, it blows my mind. This country has lost its moral conscience. And as far as journalism goes, Fox News, CNN, the cable news, and everything, if you believe Fox News is fucking news, you really are crazy. That is not news. That is fucking entertainment. You want fear, they'll feed you fear. You want racism, they'll give you a club. You want Kool-Aid, they'll supply Jim Jones himself. I mean, think about it. Come on. The cousin of freaking George Bush able to steal the freaking election. Chief Justice Byers, the photograph of Byers coming out of the Supreme Court chair will be the most iconic piece of art in American freaking history. Ever. You look at that photograph, him coming out. That rivals the biggest day in American history since the great freaking D-Day, June 6, 1944. Was that day? That picture, read what he said, Justice. He said it delegitimized the court. He said that right on freaking Larry King in his freaking interview. He says in his writings, in his books. He was a brilliant man. The Supreme Court, you got 9 people and 5 of them are dug in hardcore elephants. They're going to rule whatever the right wants, period. And freaking Fox News with their freaking presidential candidates, they own the Republican Party. I mean, we had this great two-party system that worked for so long. You know, and everybody says, oh, you're a Republican. No, I'm not. I'm not a Republican hater. I love the old freaking good Republicans. I mean, I don't hate Republicans. Barack Obama's a fine Republican. You know, I don't hate him. Hell, Bill Clinton was a great Republican. You know, I'm all for him. You know, our 8 consecutive Republicans. You know, I'm a progressive. We haven't had a progressive since John Kennedy, please. So don't try to pigeonhole and say, oh, you hate freaking Republicans. No, I'm fine with some of the Republicans. You know, I'm not too mad at freaking Obama. You know, I kind of like the greatest Republican of all time, Bill Clinton. NAFTA. Look, I know I'm not doing my Mark Twain impression. Boy, I wish we had him now. I don't know if any of you ever read his writings at the end of his life. That's the writings I like. Read his writings at the last 25 years. From Huckleberry. That way. After his wife died, she kept him from releasing some of these things. Wow. Wow. You want to talk about rants. You know, you think I rant? Whoa. Boy, did he rant. But anyway, before I go off in literature romance land, look, these are what dairies are. Thousands and thousands of cows. These people have annihilated the great delta here, Lower Weber. They get away with it. So we don't have any studies. Now let's talk about good journalism versus bad journalism. Bad journalism, the most iconic bad journalism we have seen. Well, of course, we know bad journalism. Pat Tillman. I mean, anybody. That's where I knew the moral conscience of this country was totally wrecked. I got to see that documentary. It was right while it was being made. I had a friend that was working on it. Got to watch it. I've never been so emotional in my whole life. I don't think I was even that emotional. I watched them put my father in the body bag who was killed from atomic radiation. The worst piece of journalism I ever seen was CNN last Saturday morning. Sanjay Gupta, who I have a lot of respect for, tremendous respect for. You know, remember, he was named to be the Surgeon General. And I really don't think this was him. I think this came from the top down. They played this video of this doctor in Japan. She survived Hiroshima. Now she uses radiation to save lives. Okay, kids? All right, kids? That radiation's not bad. Look, it saves lives. Go get you a couple freaking pounds of it. Eat it up. You and Ann Calder could freaking have some radiation pie, kids. And then he piggybacks it. This is his medical show that's on Saturday mornings, which I always watch. I have a lot of respect. I did. I don't anymore. I'll never freaking pay any attention to it again. Then right after that, they put this freelance journalism. I was laying in my bed in 86 in the height of the Cold War, 86 height. Wow, you dumb motherfucker. They show, I went to Chernobyl. I didn't see 3 eyeballs. I didn't. Then here's where they really crossed the line. They put up a fish. 2 guys in Chernobyl fishing, and they hold the fish up. And they hold that photo for a long time. That is borderline libel. That is the most irresponsible freaking journalism I've ever seen in my life. We know everybody's completely feared from the great fishery of the world, the great ecosystem of the world called the Pacific Ocean, as they drain into there. You know, everybody's in fear. Now we're all in fear of the milk situation. The radiation levels are low, but it's the buildup. Here's good journalism. You don't think people in Utah know? They know. KSL, a lot of people don't give them legitimacy because of the Mormon church angle, blah, blah. They do magnificent work. Magnificent. They're the ones that exposed when the Go Shoot Indians for the nerve gas leak happened in the late 50s and the early 60s out there. We store all the freaking nerve gas and nuclear energy stored right out here in our desert, right here. You don't think Utah's understand? We're right next to the open air Nevada test sites. Our great governor, Scott Matheson, the progressive in Utah, who was mowed down in the heart of his life, a downwinder from southern Utah, that died of leukemia, just like my father died of leukemia, who was put in the trenches at the freaking pits, 40,000 of them. And the government tries to hide these freaking studies. We don't know. So they do some journalism last night. John Hollantor's great work he did last night. I loved it. There's some good work being done out of Utah right now. KSL doing some great work. He says it like this. He caveats it like this. We know it is undisputable fact that exposure to radiation causes leukemia. Well, right up the road here, we have the greatest leukemia center on earth. The incredible Huntsman Center. John Huntsman. The same John Huntsman people are worried about. He's going to be running for president. Our ex-governor, who's in the Obama administration. And if you think he's a conservative, think again. He's the biggest liberal the state's ever seen. He's a true progressive. He's a genius. He ran for governor here because he knows everybody checks the elephant. He ran as an elephant. He's no elephant. He's a progressive. And everybody says, oh, you hate Republicans, you hate Republicans. No, I don't. I don't hate Republicans. I'm a progressive. I kind of like the Republican president we have now, Obama. You know, I kind of like the greatest Republican president we ever had, Bill Clinton, NAFTA. We've had 8 consecutive Republicans. Conservatives, I mean, conservatives, I should say. Republicans and Democrats, hell, a lot of Democrats that got the so-called blue dogs were more to the conservative than the conservatives. So don't get caught up in that Democrat-Republican. I talk about conservatives and liberals and progressives. Barack Obama's a conservative. Bill Clinton was a conservative. We've had 8 in a row. Jimmy Carter was a conservative passing out Bibles. I mean, you can argue with me all you want on that. Bring it on. It's a fact. Look, they report, then they go to these doctors at the Huntsman Center. The best leukemia doctors in the world are here. And I've been involved with this. I worked in the Justice Department with the Justice Department for 15 years on this thing because of the death of my father. I've been involved. Look, both doctors they interviewed last night said the same thing. The amount of radiation that comes into mother's milk, be a cow or whatever, the levels, we simply don't know what levels are dangerous. And then we have to rely on the media to tell us, oh, they've reached these levels. We know we can't trust the media. The media is untrustable. I call it reverse Magna Carta, the theft of the election, the blowjob that changed the world. People say you're over the top. No. Think about the consequences of the theft of that election. Wow, and the media lets them off the hook. The Pat Tillman, the media off the hook. Jessica Lynch, the media off the hook. You know, this country has lost its moral conscience. Like I said, when I seen the Pat Tillman documentary and no one cared, that's when I knew this country doesn't give a fuck. When I wrote my article on the Shirtwaist Triangle Fire, as I say it like this, we've come full circle. The bosses there are the same bosses that are in China. But the difference then is the United States, as evil as the bosses were, people had a conscience in 1911. People don't have a conscience anymore. Well, I got me a pair of 11s, I got one last night. That's with the scars. I was passing out the It's a Boys. I'm not doing my Mark Twain. They'll read his last freaking, like I said, read his later writings in his life. You want to talk about rants. Boy, could he rant. Boy, did he go off in the later part of his life, from Huckleberry Finn forward. Get out and read your Rachel Carson. Get out and read your Moby Dick. All you teachers require it. We have got to overcome this ignorance in this world. We've got to create post-ignorance. We don't know. These doctors and scientists at the University of Utah both said verbatim, we really don't know what the dangerous levels, and no one knows. The studies aren't there. So true, and we don't know what nuclear radiation is going to mix, and I'm sure these levels are extremely low right now. You know, I had a talk with my daughter last night about it. I don't think we're in the danger zone yet, but that doesn't mean we won't get there. We don't know. You know, we can't rely on the media to say, oh, the radiation's level went up 8 days ago. Sorry, forgot to tell you. The plume went out there of March 12th, forgot to tell you. Oh, Bush stole the election, we forgot to fucking tell you. Oh, fucking Jessica fucking Lynch was really curled up in a ball. She stood in front of Congress, got a credit, we forgot to tell you. Oh, fucking Pat Tillman was murdered by his own fucking man. Oh, I thought he killed all of Al-Qaeda. Forgot to fucking tell you. You know, so we can't trust him. I'm doing my best, I really am. You know, KSL, Utahns know. I am doing my best. I have a vested interest on this. And if you think cows just go out and eat grass and then the milk comes out and that's where... No, that's how cows live. Right there. They stand in their freaking shit up to here. That's milk. None of those cows have ever seen an open pasture. And never will. The radiation gets in their milk and it synergizes and comes out more powerful. Now, I'm sure that the levels are low right now. I really feel that that's probably true. But... as time goes on, we don't know when this is going to change. I'm going to do my best and give you guys as much information as I can. I'm going to stay on this. Kevin Blanch.